When most people think of Jim Carrey, they think of bursting energy, rubber face expressions, loud characters, and confidence that fills the screen. But his story didn't begin this way. It began with instability. As a teenager, Carrey's father lost his job, and his family struggled financially. For a period, they lived out of a van. Jim worked as a janitor alongside his family just to help make ends meet. That kind of instability can do one of two things to a person. It can either shrink you, or it can sharpen you. Carrey chose to sharpen himself. He began performing stand-up comedy in Toronto at a young age. Early on, he bombed. His first performances were not legendary. He struggled to find his voice. At one point, he tried impersonations and failed to connect with audiences. But he studied, he adjusted, and he kept showing up. Here's where the famous story comes in. In the early 90s, while still relatively unknown, he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered. He dated it 5 years in the future and carried it in his wallet everywhere he went. People often treat this as a mystical moment, but what matters is not the check. It's what the check represented. It represented belief before evidence. At the same time, he was putting in relentless work, auditions, late-night sets, rejections, and refinement. He was not sitting at home waiting for destiny to happen. He was building it. In 1994, he landed Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, then The Mask, then Dumb and Dumber. Within a short period of time, he became one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood, and in 1996, he earned $10 million for The Cable Guy. The number matched the check. But here's the deeper layer. After reaching massive fame, Jim Carrey began speaking openly about depression and identity. He said that in interviews he realized achieving success did not automatically create peace. I wish everyone would get rich and famous and have everything they ever dreamed of so they can see that it's not the answer. That statement was not bitterness. It was self-awareness. His evolution did not stop at financial success. It continued into self-exploration. He stepped away from certain roles. He explored art and spirituality. He questioned identity itself. This is where his story becomes truly relevant. He didn't just overcome poverty. He overcame external validation. He proved to himself that he could achieve his goals, and then he asked a harder question. Who am I without the applause? Overcoming has stages. First, you overcome limitation. Then you overcome doubt. Then sometimes you have to overcome ego. Jim Carrey's story reminds us all that belief must be paired with hard work. But it also reminds us that success is not the final destination. Growth continues beyond achievement. If you have a dream, believe it boldly. Write the check if you want. Visualize it. But then build the habits that make it real. When you reach it, remember, your worth was never dependent on the result. Your discipline builds skill. Your belief builds momentum. Your identity must be rooted deeper than the applause. Because overcoming is not just about getting what you want. It's about becoming someone capable of handling it. So today, rise in your mind, rise in your actions, rise daily.